Time for another session of Ask the CM with Worcester City Manager Eric Batista. Thank you for coming in, Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. We've got some questions from some listeners here, and I'm just going to start right off with a follow-up from something that we were talking about last time we were here, and that's what's going on with the town of Holden. I guess now we've exhausted all our appeals, and now we have to set up some way to pay them. Is it like $35 million?
That's correct.
Right. And so what is happening with that?
Yeah, so we, the town of Holden and the city of Worcester have settled the kind of litigation. We've concluded that as of yesterday. We had executed contracts. So we've now structured a way in which we're going to pay the town of Holden over the next 3 years. And part of that structure, what it does is it allows us as well to stop the interest accrual, because that's one of a big number, over $8,000 daily that it accrues. So we wanted to make sure we stopped that. So in this deal, what we did is the way we structured it is we give an initial payment of $10 million April 1st, next week, April Fool's Day. We give $10 million. We give $10 million, and that, as part of that payment, you will utilize our reserves to make that initial payment. The next payment happens July 1st of 2026, in a few months, and that's $10.5 million. And then subsequently from that, we'll be making $5 million payments every other fiscal year for 3 years, which will cover the 35.5. But the most important thing here, this stops any interest accrual as well. And so, that's been important to us. We want to make sure that whatever deal we come up with has the minimal impact to the residents, and so that's why we've tried to space it out as much as we could, structure it in different multiple payments, utilizing reserves, borrowing some money, and then we will work with the state of Massachusetts to find other ways and other means in which we can offset some of the costs related to the actual judgment.
I think I asked this last time and you weren't sure because there was no settlement yet. And I think Mayor Petty was telling our friend Hank Stoltz that there may be a rate increase for residents of the city. Is that true? And how much do you think it'll be?
Yeah, the increase itself, it's something that we've been very focused on, and that's why we structured this deal this way, to try to minimize that increase to the residents, to the taxpayer ratepayers. And in one of the, especially for this upcoming year, one of the strategies was if we utilize the reserves and we utilize that, then we will see very minimal increase to the rate. The rate itself will increase just based on inflation, based on cost, et cetera, but nothing significant related to this current settlement. And we spaced it out in that way so that we'd be able to absorb that over the next following years. There's always been an increase to the ratepayers. Every year there's a rate increase. Last year there was about a 4% increase, and that was 38 cents increase to the ratepayers. So they will see a little bit of an increase, but nothing out of the normal in terms of what they see, because we've been trying to find ways to try to minimize that. And then what's going to help, what I said earlier, working with the state, if we can identify any additional dollars for infrastructure through the state, then it helps to even offset that ratepayer, that rate even more. And that's what our strategy is, and we're going to work through that over the next 3 years.
I got to tell you, the most questions we got in from listeners were about potholes.
Yes.
And I'm sure, every year, basically, that's what it is when all the snow goes away. What are you going to do about the potholes? But some specific questions of listeners saying that they've reported potholes. They said that the city said that they were fixed, but they hadn't been fixed, or they fix a pothole and there's a pothole right next to that, and they kind of leave that one. Is that something that's like, if they report a pothole, are they going to ignore the other damage to the road around that?
Yeah.
So they have to report every specific pothole, and even though that pothole, another pothole is in the close vicinity to the one reported, they're are they not allowed to fix that, or they can't?
No. So what happens often, right, is when you submit a 311 request related to a pothole, that gets the 311 system assigns that work order to the department. So in this the case is DPW. The department, once they receive that assignment, what they do is they close out the case on 311. It closes out, acknowledging the receipt of that, and that's something that we're working through to ensure that it doesn't get closed out. Perhaps it keeps as a pending, and then when the job is done, it gets closed out. So that's something that we're working through. But what it does, it closes out, and it looks like it closes out on your app, but it's really assigned to DPW. And now DPW's job is to take that list and go out and fix those potholes. What they often do is if there's a pothole and there's multiple within the vicinity that I'm fixing this pothole, more than likely they're going to fix those within the vicinity. What oftentimes, and some of the dispute is, if it's a block away or further down the street, why didn't we just fix that one? Well, it might have been the department and the staff, they have a list that they got to get through, right? And so, and if they don't get through that list, depending on the order of they've been coming complaints, there's a period of time that can go by that if your car was damaged and that was reported and we never fixed it, the city becomes liable in fixing the damage of your vehicles, right? So there's a period of time that we have to fix that, and usually about 24 to 48 hours we have to. It says reasonable, but we often say between 24 to 48 hours we got to fix it. And so the individuals have to work as quickly as possible to get through that list, because otherwise, if they don't get to that list because they're fixing all the other potholes within that street, and they weren't able to get to that, now the time is going to extend even more, which becomes more of a liability if someone was to hit the pothole and break a vehicle, et cetera. So we're working different strategies to address this. We're trying to be a little bit proactive in some of our strategies. And so we're hoping that, we're going to come up with something soon. But again, I just want to let people know, I've been in many different meetings across the state, and probably every mayor, every town manager, every city manager is going through the same thing. State of Massachusetts is in a tough position. But we're gonna handle it. We're gonna get through that. And hopefully we have a proactive strategy that we can address them moving forward.
And then I want to bring up that the city had to shut down the comments on, is it just the social media?
That's correct.
City?
That's correct.
Because of, like any comment section, because there was a ton of vitriol going on there. I mean, just unnecessary comments, things like that. Some listeners want to ask, isn't that illegal? Didn't the Supreme Court say that that's illegal to do that in a public forum? I'm thinking, well, if it has nothing to do with the subject and it's just someone saying, hey, you stink. And believe me, I get that all the time. I've been in radio. I know what a comment section can be like. It can be pretty bad.
Yes.
So yeah, of course. But isn't that kind of shutting off a public forum? And doesn't that give the perception of like the city, is making it harder for the citizens to contact them?
And that is an argument. That is a question that people have asked. And my position is that doesn't. Majority of the texts or the majority of the messages or comments that were provided in the social media as part of our evaluation, they were not asking the city questions, right? They were not asking for information, because oftentimes you put out information, you put out a flyer or a post on something, and what it just becomes targeting. And sometimes, most of the time, was targeting each other. It became people commenting on each other and fighting each other and using slurs and using other language that was just inappropriate. One of the reasons as well as part of this is, as part of the police department's page, sometimes they post missing child.
Yeah.
Right? In the comments, that people would talk about the missing child. And the family now has to see that. Right? And those things are the things that, we take in consideration, and families get frustrated because they're looking for their child, and then there's people now making all types of comments about this child. So we took all that into consideration. There's complete open forum for people to engage with municipal government. We either through the 311 app or through calling municipal offices or showing up to public meetings or neighborhood organization meetings, crime watch meetings. There's so many different ways that the residents have an ability to engage But we felt as though the comment section became something that it wasn't a place of seeking information. And that's where the position until we took to eliminate them.
Right. And I was kind of thinking that too, like, well, but at the same time, you've just shut it all down. You're not shutting down specific people. Now, that would probably be the illegal part. If
Correct.
Someone's criticizing the city on a subject that's posted, and you're like, well, I don't like what this person has to say, so I'm going to. So it's like all or nothing.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Because otherwise, then we have to kind of police that. And then we have to then make a determination of what's too much, what's not too much.
Right.
You would need a whole team of folks 24/7 monitoring all those comments for every social media. And that's we don't want to put ourselves in that position. We don't want to be the ones to make those decisions. So it's like you said, Mike, it's all or nothing. This people have argued, this is, not allowing free speech. This has nothing to do with free speech. Free speech is if I start actually screening what you're actually commenting and deleting you, etc. That's that could impact that. But you as an individual, you have a right to share my post on your post and have your free speech. And so we've looked at it before we made that decision. We looked in terms of all cases. We looked at all any legal potential ramifications. It wasn't just like a random, hey, they just shut it off. We looked at everything before we made that decision to make sure that we weren't putting ourselves in potentially another lawsuit.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And so, we took everything into consideration before we made that decision.
All right. And so, like you said, there's other ways. And you go to the city website, there's all the email addresses are there. If you need to get in touch with anyone, and specifically city council, whoever it may be,
Correct.
all the emails are available there.
Correct.
As well as the phone numbers.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with picking up the old-fashioned telephone and actually talking to a person.
Yes.
Because someone will answer over there.
And we get calls in my office all the time. There's a receptionist that answers the phone. She works very well in answering those. And if there's any issues, she tries to assist them. Sometimes there's just someone is complaining or venting about a situation that has nothing to do with municipal government, and we take those calls and we assist them and try to redirect them to the appropriate places. So there's mechanisms to do that. I used to actually serve in the front desk of the city manager's office answering those phones. So I remember being on those phones and just talking people through the situations and trying to help them out. So we have so many different ways that people get engaged, but we felt really strongly on this one, on the social media comments.
And before you go, I know you got limited time here. So we do this March Food Madness bracket every year, and we've done pizzas and hot sauces and wings and tacos. This year it's burgers. Now we're down to the final four. Unfortunately, there's only one. Well, not unfortunately, but there's only one Worcester establishment left, and that's the Fix, well known for their burgers.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be in this final four, but in the city, where's your go-to burger place?
Probably one that people won't think it's probably the go-to burger place. It's actually a pizza place, but they do burgers.
Okay.
It's JJ's Pizza on Grafton Street.
Oh, okay.
So they are Brazilian-owned, and Brazilians, they make a burger. It's called Cheese Tudo. So, and what it does, what it has is a burger. It has an egg. It has ham. It has bacon, potato sticks. I mean, you name it. This thing is potato sticks.
The Brazilians know how to do it.
It's loaded. Yes, it's loaded, and it's just the best.
Yeah.
So if anybody has an opportunity to have a cheese tudo, it's the Brazilian community makes it. It is a heart attack as soon as you bite into it. But it is so good. It is so good. But I love the Fix. The Fix is a staple in our community. It's become a staple burger place in our community. But that one is one that JJ's Pizza is one that I would go to.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming up again, answering some questions. We appreciate it's Worcester City Manager Eric Batista and Ask the CM. Appreciate it. Will we see you at opening day tomorrow at the Woo Sox game, or are you going to be able to make that?
Yeah, I'm going to try. I have another event that I have to speak at, but we're very excited about the Woo Sox. Another season. They've been doing a great job bringing a number of fans, being creative. They have someone doing the first pitch tomorrow. I don't know how I feel about that person doing the first pitch, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
We may have that in common.
Yes, it is what it is.
I have some mixed feelings about it myself.
Yeah. Anybody that leaves the Red Sox to go to the Yankees, Johnny Damon and others, we tend to be like,
we forgave Bill Buckner.
Yeah, we did.
So there's room for forgiveness.
There is room for forgiveness.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. City Manager Eric Batista here.